Today in our 2010 Honda Accord, we're going to take a look at and show you how to install the CURT Custom Fit Class 1 Trailer Hitch Receiver with the 1¼ by 1¼ opening. Its part number is C11085. Alright, here's what the hitch looks like installed. As you can see, we've got our round tube that's going to come across. Here in the middle is the receiver tube opening. This gives us the 1¼ by 1¼ opening. We've got our reinforcement collar around the end there. It's nice and flush. This is going to be inset on our bumper or behind our bumper, so we won't have to worry about bumping into it. Got our plate style safety chain connection points here on the bottom. As you can see, they've got an oval shaped opening. Should be no problem getting safety chains or stability straps connected there. Securing your items, you'll be using the 1/2-inch pinhole. Now this is going to work great for whatever Class 1 accessory you'll choose. It looks like there's a pretty narrow gap between the bottom of that hole and this plate. So if you're using tumbler style locks or things like that, you'll definitely want to stay with smaller diameter things. When it comes to towing, the hitch is going to offer a 200-pound tongue weight rating. It's the maximum downward force we can put here at our receiver tube opening. We're going to have a gross trailer weight rating of 2,000 pounds. That's the total weight of our trailer and anything that we load up on it. We definitely also want to check the owner's manual in the Accord, see what its tow rating is, and we're going to go off of whichever of those numbers are the lowest. Now, a few measurements that are going to be helpful in selecting your bike racks or cargo carriers will be from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening. We've got about 11¼ inches. Then from the center of our hitch pinhole to the outermost edge of our bumper, it's about 3¼ inches. Now, to begin our installation, we need to lower down our exhaust. We've got an exhaust hanger here that we're going to pull off, and then just ahead of it, if we follow the pipe up, there's going to be another one here. Now we're going to support this with a strap along the underside, just so when we do take those hangers down, it doesn't just fall down. We can control it with that. A little bit of lubricant's a good idea to spray on the hangers. That's going to help them slide off a little bit easier. And a lot of times if we just pull from the back, it'll pop off. Do the one up front. And now, just on the back side of the canister, there's going to be kind of a double style here, more of a triangle. We want to get that one separated as well. This one's a little bit harder to get to. You may want to use a pry bar and just try prying from the back side of it. And we'll put a little slack in our strap here. That should give us plenty of room to get in there and work. Now it's time to remove the bolts that are holding our heat shield in. There's 4 of those. We've got 1, 2, we've got 3, and 4 here. For those, we'll use a 10mm socket. And we'll set that aside and save our bolts because we will be putting it back up later. Now at our access hole location, we need to make sure that our bolt and also our spacer block will pass through. You can see our bolt fits fine, but it's a little tight for the spacer block, so just going to trim off the edge here to allow that to pass. Use a die grinder, a rotary tool, hacksaw, whatever you've got. All right, now we can go do the same thing for our passenger side. Now we'll feed our pull wire through our mounting location there. Bring it out of our access hole. Then we need to feed on the spacer block. Also thread on our carriage bolt. Now we'll feed these into the frame separately. Seems to be the best method. Pull them to the rear. They'll just come down like that. We'll go take care of the other side in the same way. Now our U-bolt here in the middle, this is going to go around that recovery hook, that little loop on the back. May have to tap it on with a hammer. A little undercoating on there, it's kind of got it a little tight, so we can just wiggle it to loosen it up. Now we can guide our hitch up into position. It's a good idea to get an extra set of hands just to kind of help guide it. We want our U-bolt to come through the center portion. We want our carriage bolts to come through our outside flange here. Then we want to pull our fish wires off. and thread on one of our flange nuts. That'll hold this side up while we get our other side taken care of. All right, now with both those started, we'll come to the middle where we'll use our smaller flange nuts and put those on our U-bolt. All right, now we'll go through and snug down our hardware. Now we need to check our instructions, find our torque specifications, and get our hardware torqued down appropriately. All right, now for trimming up our heat shield, we want to measure over from this outside edge about 4 3/4 of an inch. So we'll put us right there. And we want to measure up from the end about 10 inches. And we're going to be getting rid of this outside section. This 10 snips aviation shears should work fine. All right, now let's check and we'll make sure that that clears our hitch, and if not, we can trim out a little more. Yeah, looks like that's going to be good. Hit each of those exhaust hangers with a little more spray lube, and we'll be ready to get our exhaust put back into position. And we'll pull down our strap here, and our hitch is going to be ready for use. With our exhaust back in place, that's going to complete our installation of the CURT Custom Fit Class 1 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C11085 on our 2010 Honda Accord.